I know this month is a month of love, but over here on this channel, we are going to be covering a very important topic, and that is tax planning. Specifically, how you can get ahead and plan for the 2026 tax year. Whether you're a first-time taxpayer, a freelancer, or you're just looking to maximize on your tax refund, this video is going to give you everything that you need to get started, so stay tuned. Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to The Real ZB. I'm so excited to finally be covering this series. If you remember a few months ago, I did do a little tax related video, but this time I decided to revive it and make it a series. So over the next 4 weeks, we are going to be covering everything tax on this channel. Now, remember, before you take any advice from a stranger on the internet, to A, do your own research, and number two, if you are completely clueless and unsure, make sure that you get yourself a tax practitioner or a tax professional to help you out with your tax planning as well as your tax filing. If you would like me to help you out with your taxes and specifically consult on your specific case, then make sure you peep my description box, because I will leave my email address there and then we can get talking. Okay, but for this series, everything is literally going to be general. If you do want in-depth advice, tax advice on your specific case or your specific circumstances, then I do suggest you consult a tax professional. Doesn't have to be me, but consult somebody who can help you along. So this week's video is basically going to be an introduction to taxation. So it's going to cover your absolute basics. So let's start by establishing what exactly is the tax year, okay? So the tax year for South Africa 2026 is going to run from the 1st of March 2025 right up until the 28th of February 2026. Okay, so that is going to be your tax year. So that means basically that you need to be able to account for all of the incomes, deductions, allowances, and so on and so forth that you get and that you incur during that whole period. Now, I will cover provisional taxpayers as well as expected deadlines in one of the future videos within this series. So make sure that you are subscribed and you turn on the notification bell so that you do not miss a single video in this series. So yeah, let's get into why I thought it is important for us to talk about tax planning specifically. And I wanted us to cover this topic right before the next tax year starts, okay? So it's important to get into tax planning because number one, it can help you save a lot of money, because if you are able to plan your taxes accordingly, then you're able to take advantage of certain rebates and refunds that will end up with you paying less tax than you have been paying or that you would have been paying. So it's basically money back in your pocket, and whenever you can get money back in your pocket, it's always a good thing. Another reason why you should take tax planning seriously is so that you can avoid submitting late or underpaying, which leads to hefty fines and penalties from SARS. Another reason is that if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So you being organized and having all the documents that you need is going to give you peace of mind and less stress once tax season opens up and you need to file and submit your taxes. And especially if you are chosen for audit, then you know that you've already got everything documented down and you don't have to stress about it, and you can submit whatever they need and go about your day. Now that we have established briefly why it's important to plan your taxes before you even get into the tax year, let's cover some very basic concepts or terms that you will hear thrown around while you are doing your taxes. So the first one that I want to speak about is tax brackets. So I'm sure as a taxpayer, you know that in South Africa, we work on a sort of progressive scaled kind of tax table system. This basically means, in simple terms, that the more taxable income you earn, the more tax you are going to be charged or that you're going to be paying. By planning your taxes accordingly, you are able to estimate how much tax you are going to be expected to pay during the financial year. Using the tax tables, you are able to see where you fall in, so which tax bracket you fall in. As it currently stands today, this is how the tax brackets are looking. These may be subject to change when the Minister of Finance delivers the budget speech. So make sure that if you don't read or listen to the budget speech or don't hear anything about the budget speech, make sure that once that speech is delivered, you go back and you check which tax bracket you fall into. It might not change, but it also might change. So just bear that in mind, that these might change within the next few weeks. The second term that I want to speak about is taxable income. Okay, so taxable income is different from your gross income or the income that you generate throughout the year. Okay, and the main difference is that your taxable income has been reduced by any exemptions that you are able to claim and any expenses that you are able to claim as deductions. Okay, so it's basically the income that is left after you've made use of or taken advantage of all the deductions and exemptions that SARS offers you. Okay, and then this taxable income number is the number that SARS is going to use to calculate your tax bill or your tax liability, which basically means it's the number that SARS is going to apply the tax tables to in order to come up with how much tax you need to pay. Let's talk about rebates. Rebates are different from deductions and exemptions because rebates are reducing your tax liability or the tax that you're going to be charged. Whereas deductions and exemptions, they reduce your taxable income. So rebates come after the tax tables have been applied to your taxable income. Ne, you still with me? It comes afterwards. Then SARS determines, okay, this is how much you need to pay us. And then you will get certain rebates that you qualify for on those. Okay. So for example, if you are under the age of 65, you qualify for a primary rebate. Okay. If you're older than 65, then you have an additional rebate that you are also entitled to, and these rebates, they diminish your tax bill or the tax that you are supposed to pay. Deductions, on the other hand, are expenses that SARS allows you to take away or minus from your income in order to come up with your taxable income. Right? So, like I said, the higher your taxable income, the higher you will sit on the tax tables. So, making use of or taking advantage of these deductions is able to even make you sit a little bit lower on the tax tables. Okay, so are we happy with the difference between what a deduction is and what a rebate is? I hope we are. Give us a thumbs up if you are with me this far. So if you understand just these basic concepts, you are already ahead of the pack when it comes to tax planning. So now that you have a solid foundation, let's talk about how you can get started on tax planning today. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is to organize your documents or prepare to organize your documents. documents. You need to come up with some kind of filing system that suits you, where you'll be able to keep all your payslips, all your invoices, all of the documents that relate to your incomes and expenses in one place. Some people prefer to keep them digitally, and some people prefer to get, a physical file where they've got flags and tags on each thing, and it's very intricate. Doesn't have to be a very complicated system. Just make sure that you've got somewhere that you are putting your documents, your important documents, and it's going to be easily accessible to you when you need to produce those documents. Next thing that you're going to want to do is you need to understand what kind of a taxpayer you are. And this comes with understanding what streams of income you have, okay? Are you someone who's got one stream of income? Do you have a side hustle? Are you selling Inuka, Forever Living? Whatever you are selling on the side, is that another stream of income? Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you have a TikTok that pays you? Do you have Instagram campaigns that pay you? So you need to determine what are your streams of income, and you make sure that you have dedicated time to organize those as well, so that you know what is going in where. Now, the way that I do this with my streams of income is that I've got separate bank accounts, okay? And for one of my businesses, I actually registered it as a company to keep things like very separate. But for the most part, my side hustles, I just open a bank account just so that I can prove to SARS that this is the money that came in with this side hustle, and this is the money that I paid for equipment that relates to this side hustle. This is money that I spent for this side hustle. And it just also, in my mind, it helps me keep organized, and it helps me be able to better prove exactly what my incomes and expenses are, instead of using just your personal bank account where you've got all of your household things going in and out of there. So it's very difficult to sort of compartmentalize what is a business expense and what is actually a personal expense. And you might find yourself in a little bit of a sticky situation if you get audited, because you won't be able to prove some of your expenses, and then you won't be able to claim those as deductions. So I just keep everything separate. You don't have to. If one bank account works for you, then do you. But that's just one thing that I've decided to do. And it really, really helps me be able to. I was actually audited last year. And my audit took a few days because I was able to provide SARS with all of my proof and motivations, and it went through within a few days. I was cleared and I got my refund. So take it from someone who's been there. You'd rather keep things very, very organized so that you can confidently say exactly what goes where. All right, now the next one is you need to do your research, okay? So you need to research what deductions you qualify for, okay? Especially with someone who's got a side hustle or who's a freelancer. But I will cover freelancers and small businesses and side hustles in 2 videos time, okay? But you need to research what deductions you can get, okay, in order to decrease your taxable income, so that you pay a little less tax than you would. Now you can do this by conducting research on the internet, but if this is like your first time and you really want to understand it, then I do think you should consider consulting a tax professional to help you or to consult with you along the way, so that even next year, maybe you'll be doing your own taxes. So it's worthwhile learning about what you can do when it comes to your specific circumstances. So once you know what deductions you may qualify for during the tax year, then it's easy for you to keep those receipts. It's easy for your brain to get triggered when you incur a certain expense and you're like, oh, that's an expense that I can claim. Let me put it in my SARS file. That's an expense that I should be claiming. Let me put it in my SARS file. So in that case, you will be able to have all of the receipts that that will qualify you for those deductions, and you'll pay a little less tax. Another thing that you can do is you can make use of free tax calculators or paid tax calculators or platforms such as TaxTim to help you be able to understand your taxes a little bit better. And if you feel like your taxes are far too complex, like I said, you are able to consult a tax professional to help you along the way. It is an investment to do that, but it's an investment that is going to help you be able to save as much money as you can. So pick your battles, do with that information what you will. But I will leave my email in the description box if you would like to consult on your specific taxes. So finally, let's talk about what you can expect from this series. So in the next video, I am going to be covering how you can better maximize your tax refund. Then I will speak about small businesses and freelancers and people with side hustles. Finally, we'll wrap up this series by learning how to file your taxes like a pro. So if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are notified when I drop these videos. If you found this video to be helpful, make sure you leave a big thumbs up and share it with everybody that you think might benefit. Let me know in the comment section, what is your biggest tax related question, and I will do my best to answer it either in the comments or in one of the future videos. I will see you next week for another one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.